Good morning. I'm Kimberly Edwards with cookingwithkimberly.com, and today's an exciting morning for me. This morning I'm going to show you how to brew the perfect cup of Darjeeling tea. Now, Darjeeling tea is my absolute favorite tea of all time. It's often referred to as the champagne of teas. Many tea connoisseurs, this is their favorite tea. A lot of people that aren't really into tea can't really pick up the different beautiful muscatel nuances, I guess you could say. This is a tea that comes from India. It's from West Bengal, and there's only certain estates that are approved, certain places that are approved that are actually called Darjeeling. Now, Darjeeling is usually one of the more expensive teas you can buy, and there's different grades of it, and it depends on when they harvest it during the year. Now, the first flush is going to be your most delicate. That happens in mid-March time, and it's very gentle and delicate and has a light color and this and that. The in between, it's pretty nice. It's in between the two flush period, the first two. The second flush is my favorite. It's done in June, and it has, excuse me, there's my timer. Okay. It happens in June, and it gives you a full-bodied, full muscatel flavor and aroma. Now, musk is a musky flavor. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's one of my favorite flavors of all time. In fact, it's one of the things that I really enjoyed in Australia. They have a lot of musk flavored stuff there, and I really enjoyed it. So Darjeeling is often sold or called a black tea. Now, Darjeeling is not actually a black tea. It's actually more like an oolong tea. Most of these teas come from the same plant. It just depends on how it's harvested, when it's harvested, how they prepare it, how they manufacture it, and how much it's oxidized. Now, black tea is fully oxidized. Oolong tea is only about 90%, and that's what a Darjeeling is. But when you brew a Darjeeling tea, it looks like a black tea, unless you're have the first flush tea, and it's quite a lot lighter. Now, then they have another flush. It's in the monsoon season. It's the big rainy season, and that tea is of much lesser quality, so to speak, and they often use it to mix it in masala chais blends. And then there's an autumnal flush, and that's at the very end of the season, and it's not quite as delicate, but it's very full-bodied and a very dark tea. I'm sorry, I really love this tea, and I hope I'm not giving you too much information. It's just something I'm very passionate about, since I really love tea, and this is just my favorite. Now, I usually have a couple floating around. I like to try different ones from different estates and different flushes. I have one from Sum Estate and one from Mim Estate. This Mim is a second flush. That's what I'm going to make today. This is a first flush from Sum. So today I'm going to make that. Now, I brew it it's funny, I brew it very similarly to the green tea. Now, check out my post for how to brew the perfect cup of green tea. Green tea needs to have a lower boiling temperature. You don't really have to do this with Darjeeling, but it's just something that I've kind of developed, and I found that is my favorite way to do it. It tastes the best to me, and I feel I get the best results. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the amounts of what a black tea would be. So I'm using 1 teaspoon of loose leaf Darjeeling tea for every 1/8 ounce cup, which is about a mug. This is a great big mug, so don't look at my mug. Maybe a normal mug is 8 ounces. Now, a teapot is about 4 cups of tea. So this one handy dandy glass teapot that I love so much with my filter here. And I'm just going to measure 4 teaspoons of this tea. Again, it's one of the more expensive teas. It's nice that you only need to use 1 teaspoon per cup instead of some of the other ones that require 1.5. So there's 4, okay? Now, we talked about the quality of the tea, obviously, and I can't stress it enough. I prefer the loose leaf teas over tea bags. They are usually of much higher quality. They're less processed. They're not all crunched up. You get nice big leaves. You get the real essence of what that tea is supposed to be, in my opinion. Now, everyone's different, but this is my thing, so that's what I like. Okay, second is the water temperature. Now, the water temperature for black tea, usually I just say go ahead and throw it on as soon as it boils in your kettle or on the stove. I'm going to grab my kettle. Hold on. And that's how you would treat a black tea. However, since this is not a black tea, technically speaking. I like to reduce the brewing temperature now, or the water temperature. Now, an oolong tea needs about 90 degrees. I even bring it further down than that because I don't want to burn or scorch my leaves. I want to have the real essence of what this is all about. Now let me just smell it for you. It's flowery. It smells so good. I wish you guys had smell-o-vision. That would be like the best invention. Someone do that. So this has been cooling down for 5 minutes, and that's going to bring it roughly around 80 degrees. And that's how I'm going to do it. I'm not sweetening in the teapot. I like to sweeten it in my cup. When I use honeys, I don't use honeys for these. I use just straight up plain white sugar because I don't want to mess with my flavors. I just want to taste that. I just want it a little sweeter. So I don't use finishing sugars. I don't use honeys unless I'm using the Darjeeling to make a masala chai. And in that case, I'm putting milk in it. I'm also using honey and a bunch of different spices. And that's also, you're using the monsoon or the rainy season type that doesn't have quite as much flavor and it brews more like a black tea. Okay, so I'm just going to pour it on here and let it filter through. Now, brew time is crucial with this to me. Some people say you can brew it like an oolong up to 8 minutes. I do not suggest doing that. I don't like that at all. I want to brew it for the same way I brew a green tea. Now, Darjeeling, I like it. It says, I would say 2 to 4 minutes, but I prefer 2 to 3. In fact, 2 is usually closer to what I'm looking for. Now this is still going through, so I'm probably going to let it maybe go 2.5-ish today because it's taking a while to come through, and that's okay. All right, as you can see, it's brewing up like a dark tea, not like an oolong. An oolong has a much more delicate color. It's much lighter. It has a light aroma and everything like that. This is, to me, a lot of people say it's delicate, but I think it's very complex as well. It has a lot of different, it has a huge flavor profile to me. You could cook and bake with this. I suggest not because it should just be enjoyed like this. In my humble opinion, this is the best way to do it. Now I'm going to time this for 2 minutes, but I'm going to look, hopefully I can catch it in between. I'm gonna just let it brew a little while. So yeah, it's the champagne of teas. I think it's awesome. Again, it's like other teas. It has a lot of antioxidants in it, which fight free radicals, which fight illness and disease in your body. So tea is good for you. This is caffeinated tea. So is an oolong. Green tea also has caffeine too. So I know everybody says it's very healthy, and it is healthy. It is healthy for you, but it does have some caffeine in it, and that's okay. I like caffeine in the morning. I was really excited to share this with you guys because a lot of people don't get the whole Darjeeling trend, I guess. This is a very old tea. It's not actually native to India. It was actually brought over and harvested from the Chinese tea plants, sorry. And then they grow it on the steep hills and slopes. That's 1 minute. I'm going to take it out in just a second. Let me just flush it a little bit. So there's only certain approved areas in India that they'll actually call it a Darjeeling tea. Now I'm just going to switch here. Okay. I have a Darjeeling chai recipe on my website. I will also include the link in the blog post. I hope you do try this because this is the bomb of teas, and I had to share it with you. It's like an in-between black and oolong, I guess. Okay, that's perfect for me. I'm going to show you this color. I'm going to step out the way. Okay? Make sure you have your little handy-dandy something to keep all the yuckies out. Now, look how beautiful that is. I so wish that you guys could smell this. Oh, man. What a treat. Now, this will be my last video for the weekend. I'm coaching softball this weekend for a provincial skills camp. There's my timer. And I won't be probably filming until Monday unless I happen to cook or find something really cool to talk about food-wise while I'm there. So bear with me, guys. You'll see me back on Monday for sure. Okay? So I'm just gonna put some sugar in, and I don't put nearly as much sugar as I usually do because I just want to taste the tea. Here we go. It's going to be extremely hot. Again, don't laugh at me if I burn myself. I'm going to taste it for you. This is like liquid gold to me. When I make it at home, I don't like to share. No, I do share it. But it's sad when you share it with someone and they just don't get it. Even my best friend doesn't really like Darjeeling. She goes, oh, I don't get it. I don't get it. It just tastes like regular black tea. And it's so sad to me. Okay. It's really, really hot. It's all I wanted. It's very wow. And I'm sorry, the flavor changes. You get the aroma of it, which is very floral and beautiful. And then you taste it and you're like, that tastes really nice. And then it kind of expands in your mouth and gives you a whole flavor profile, all different stuff that you can't, I can't be more excited about it. I just have to say. As you guys can see, I have passion about tea. All right, everybody. I hope you guys try Darjeeling tea. Don't be afraid of loose leaf tea. What's the big deal? Jeez, it's just tea leaves. Like, really? All right. Follow the instructions. Do it right. Make sure you have a good assessment of what a good cup of Darjeeling tea is. I hope you check me out on YouTube, on my cooking show, youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly. Go follow me on Twitter @cookingwithkime with a capital E, and go like my Facebook fan page. It's facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, marvelously blessed weekend. Happy Victoria Day, Canada, May 2-4 weekend. Enjoy the sunshine. Eat deliciously, drink deliciously. Ciao.